Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
I'm appalled at what you said on that pod thing. It's disgusting.
This is the After the Show podcast. It's where we get honest and real with yo ass. So sit back, relax, have a blast, cause it's time for the After the Show podcast.
Junior's trying to talk to me. I'm trying to get all this stuff set up. They ignoring us. I'm like, I got a few things going on, woman. I just got to rip my thumb up my ass.
Like Kevin's ignoring us.
Yeah. Let me do 8 things at once instead of 6.
As he should ignore us.
Yes.
I would ignore me too. But it's not going to stop me from bugging you.
What's going on over there? You're in a sea full of emails.
Well, we just got a lot of shit going on, and it's like, yeah, I get it. Well, I get all these emails, so I read through all the emails, and there's like maybe 40. So that's what I do between the regular show and then the after the show. And I know we got a little chat after this. I'm on a schedule, so it's always...
We got an impromptu meeting and then another meeting.
Exactly. I've just got too much stuff at one time, so I'm trying to get all this done. And then, then there's side conversations. He's not listening to us again. I'm like, I can't. There's no way possible.
One day we're going to break him.
We're just busting balls over here.
I know.
He's
So
just
I'm
going to
trying
throw
get all
his
these
headphones.
together.
I'm not... unfortunately, this impromptu meeting, I have things scheduled, so I got the impromptu meeting. That make sense?
No.
I don't think I can go. Y'all have to take good notes for me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Well, it's not like I'm fucking over there jacking off.
I
working.
didn't say you were jacking off. I'm not jacking off either. I got a sales meeting with a new sponsor.
Yeah, maybe just tell her we can't do the meeting.
Today's the worst day to do our meeting, and I saw Kevin commit to it after, so I'm like, I can't be the dick to say I can't do the meeting now. I'll just wait till I'm on the podcast.
If it ever comes up, you'd be like, I can't do it.
This meeting might break us.
Well, it's not that I'm trying to get out of the meeting. I legit
I'm only
have to-
speaking for me, so
Yeah,
I'm like, I can do it.
I have
if you're
to
like,
go.
if you can't do it,
Well,
I
I
can't do it.
responded to the thread and I said, hey, just so y'all know, I have a sales meeting at 11. And these people are already going to be a little pissed because we didn't do something right. And so now I'm going to walk into that meeting late. It's not a good look.
Well, if it's a meeting that I don't have to be there, that would be awesome. I can get notes from somebody, someone can tell me what the fuck's going on. But we all don't have to be there, I don't think. Right?
Can we just send Denny's?
I can't. I just can't do it. I got too much to do today.
We'll just put it off. It'll be fun. We'll be all right.
Yeah, the world will still go on.
Yes. So.
I mean, it'd be good to do it in an email, maybe. Let's do an email.
I don't think it's gonna be a big deal.
Yeah.
But what the fuck do I know?
All right, let's see. Some of those emails that came in here today. Some people commenting about the KVJ draft that we have for the best horror picture that is out there. Somebody said the House of Wax that we were talking about earlier wasn't the Paris Hilton one. It was the one with Vincent Price. I guess there was an older one back in the day.
They redid it with Paris Hilton.
Oh.
They made Paris Hilton's death really good.
Oh,
they
did
made
they?
sure
Okay.
they did a good death for
Yeah.
Paris Hilton. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just kind of interesting to look and see how many of the ones on our list were older ones. And I was just kind of curious, okay, so what are the newer ones? I know that my twins love the horror genre. They're always going to them. So I asked the twins their favorite horror movie. My daughter Keelan said The Strangers. That's a movie. I think it's a little bit of a franchise. They did the first movie in 2008. But I was looking at what are the best horror movies of the last decade.
Yeah, look at that.
According to IMDb, Black Swan is one. Get Out, The Lighthouse, Maya, The Conjuring, Train to Busan, A Quiet Place, and Tucker and Dale V's.
Okay, first of all, their list is broke down because Black Swan's not a horror movie. It's a thriller. It's got some weird shit in there, but I would not categorize
Yeah,
that.
I would watch Black Swan.
Yeah.
I would not watch Friday the 13th.
And the fact that alone, Black Swan makes the list, shows you that the horror movies that they make a lot of times, first of all, are remakes. Look at the one that just did well. Halloween Kills. It's Michael Myers again. It's treading on the same horse shit.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of new ideas, and the new ideas just don't hit for some reason.
Yeah. Cabin in the Woods. Somebody else had said that. The Babadook.
That one's all right.
Okay.
Yeah, that one wasn't bad.
Okay, that's one they say.
The Babadook. The Babadook's going to eat your face.
Is that how you say it? What is a Babadook?
It's some kind of a demon fucking monster thing.
It's not like a Marmaduke?
It's not like a Marmaduke, no.
Don't Breathe is one. The Witch.
The Virginia Story. That's actually a documentary. It's
Yeah.
called The Pink Lies Trial.
That's my biography.
You can see that Pink Lies Trial documentary on our YouTube page. It's a good watch, my friends. Very eye-opening.
You'll never know the secrets.
The documentary just proves how much he lied about having pink eye.
And in the chat room, a lot of people are saying Sinister. Sinister.
You have to say it like that.
Sinister.
Yeah. I think I've heard my kids talking about that one. So there you go. So we'll see tomorrow at about 10:40 who wound up winning the draft in the horror movies. One that is kind of crazy. It's on Netflix, though. It's You. It's not really horror, but it's more suspenseful. It's about
I've been
psycho,
watching
basically.
You. I like it.
Angie said, OMG, V, don't stop watching it. There's 3 seasons, and the show gets crazier as it goes on.
Does it deal with the same group of people that he's following, or does he start glomming on to new people?
Who's answering that?
I don't know what the fuck the witch is talking about. I tuned out 3 minutes ago.
And he's on beer number 2.
3.
So,
Get outta
okay,
here.
sorry.
Give him credit.
He's
Terrible
on
at math.
Beer number 3, and that just means he stopped caring.
Astra had said, I used to hear about the show Billions from Kevin all the time, so I decided to check it out. And yes, OMG, it is a great show. The last season ended with a good cliffhanger. She said, that being said, I've heard a few days ago Kevin was talking with Jaybird about Succession, which kind of looks like Billions, not sure. Can you share more details about it? What is exactly the plot? It's similar in the sense where you're dealing with very wealthy people. So that's where the similarities begin and end. Billions is more about people who are on Wall Street. It's about stocks and investments and things like that. And, it's these people who are billionaires that in the diabolical things they do to motherfuck each other, basically.
The thing I would say about Succession, and I really, really liked it, it's character driven, and at times it can be a bit of a slow burn. You got to stick with it. If you really ride it out to season 2, I think you'll like it.
But it's more about a family that's motherfucking each other.
It is for sure.
And that's what it is it's who's going to take over for the father. And the father's kind of a motherfucker, too.
He is a motherfucker, which is cool to see all the kids think they're going to be in charge. They have to play the game. It's good.
He's got some funny lines, though. I rewatched the last episode of the last season. And the father who's on there, in fact, he's the voice of the McDonald's commercials that they have now. It's an older voice, and it kind of talk like this. I think his name's Brian Cox. He's an established actor, and that's the one from Succession. So I think that got him that McDonald's speaking gig. This one about Squid Game. Denise said, I'm behind in the podcast, but in case you didn't know, Netflix spent $21 million to make Squid Game, but they've already made $1.2 billion off of it.
Yeah, it's a massive moneymaker because it was so cheap to produce.
I'm sure they'll do the same with Dave Chappelle, especially since there's so much hype about how controversial his special is.
That thing, they signed him a few years back. He signed a big deal with all that money. Yo, they ain't taking down his special. It's not even a fucking story anymore.
Well, yesterday was the protest. 100 people were there. It made all the usual channels. It was a big staging thing for social media, which, depending upon your side, was getting passed around.
I mean, just say that. 100 people were there. That was it.
If that's accurate reporting, if 100 people are there, that ain't going to move the needle.
No.
Yeah. I don't know what's going to go on with that. And, everybody's kind of got their side in talking about comedy specials and what effect that has on the trans community. And, that's what I think is, most intriguing about this. I watched the special. And like I said, I think you got to be, for me, if I were in the community, it would speak to me differently, I'm sure. I watched the special itself. I felt like I walked away with it's Dave Chappelle doing some jokes, and he uses shock tactic to get his humor across. And it felt like he talked a lot about a heartfelt relationship with somebody who was trans that he had. And there seemed like there was a lot of love there. And so I sensed a lot of embrace from it. That was the take that I had, being somebody who's not in the trans. I got an email here that said, I was listening to the comments about Chappelle's special and the overall conversation about the trans community and if Chappelle was wrong for this. So as a member of the society, not a member of the community affected by the most of these comments, I thought I would share some important statistics that might shed light as to why there is outrage about the Dave Chappelle special. In the email here, it says, researchers at the Williams Institute, the University of California, Los Angeles School of Law, found that trans people are over 4 times more likely than cis people to experience violent crime, including rape, sexual assault, and aggravated or simple assault. What is the CIS? What is that?
It's a cisgender white male usually. It's a straight person. I know I said white male because I think we had that in our Facebook fishing today. But it's a straight person.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know what that is. Cisgender.
So if you say cisgender male, that means you're a straight man.
Denoting or relating to a person whose sense of personal identity and gender corresponds with their birth sex. Okay. All right, so
But you're a cisgendered man.
Yes.
You would identify as that.
I have a penis and I see myself as a male.
I just saw my penis this morning.
Okay.
It's still small.
Can we see it?
I don't think it's a good idea.
They also found that trans people have higher rates of property victimization than cis people. This is the reason why we can't let jokes like this go without at least having a meaningful conversation about why they are harmful. A major comedian still making jokes like this contributes to the bias that trans people face every day. Look at the increased violence against the Asian American Pacific Islander population in 2020 after ignorant comments were made concerning China and the COVID pandemic. Words do matter. I hope this information can add to your conversation and maybe shed a light on the outrage many see as a culture cancel. I think the conversation and outrage can be a meaningful way to increase awareness. And I think my first question when I see a special like Dave Chappelle and the jokes that are there, can you specifically attribute these things that you talk about that are studied in the Williams Institute? Can you directly attribute any of the numbers of the violent crime, the rape, the sexual assault, the aggravated or simple assault, the high rates of property victimization? So does the Dave Chappelle special that he had out there, does that directly contribute? Is that it? Because some of the other comments that you talked about, that the disparaging comments about, you know, the Asian population, especially it happened with COVID and things like that, those were very negative. Those weren't jokes. Those were very negative, demeaning comments that came on top of it. And I could see why and how that would contribute.
Look,
exactly.
man, when you do comedy, you're always going to offend somebody. It's just the way it is. It's never changed since the beginning of time. You're gonna always have somebody outraged, even if you're not doing comedy. As soon as you get in a public forum of any sorts, whether it's the radio, whether it's social media, as soon as you give your opinion on anything on this planet, you create enemies. It's just because people like agreeing with, you know, their own thought process. So anytime you give any opinion on anything, you run the risk of pissing somebody off. I've heard transgender women come out and talk about how they weren't offended about the Dave Chappelle thing, and talk about how they thought it was great, and talk about how it was a heartwarming thing. So my point is, no matter what you do on this planet, you're always going to offend somebody.
Yeah, you will. You will. And, you know, I think for me personally is to me consuming those things, promoting those things, partaking in those things. If I thought I was doing anything that was keeping somebody down and causing harm like that, I wouldn't want to be a part of it. But I would want somebody to show me how that is a direct relation to that. The Dave Chappelle special has caused an increase, a rise in violence against the trans community.
Dave Chappelle has made fun of everybody, and I feel like when he's making fun of everybody, no matter what group you're involved in, you're in it with all of us. You're getting made fun of like everyone else is getting made fun of. I'm talking about the Dave Chappelle special. I'm not talking about some fuckface that is against
spreading hate.
Yeah. I think we have to determine a comedy special and then fuck faces who have hate speech. Dave Chappelle told a very heartwarming story at the end that a lot of people, including people who are trans, identified with it. They thought it was heartwarming. Not everyone liked it. That's life.
There was one conversation that we had from an email on Monday that Caroline had said the woman who was groped by a doctor through the guise of a breast exam. I want to say thank you for unequivocally stating that this doctor needs to be reported. One point that was not addressed that I feel is extremely important is that the woman noted she was struggling with the idea of ruining someone's career. The woman is not ruining someone's career. The doctor ruined his own career when he decided it was okay to assault his patients. I hear too often that women are afraid to speak up for this same reason, and it should be more emphasized that it is not a woman's report that ruins a career. The action of assault ruined the career.
Absolutely.
I want that woman to know that others see her concern, and she should see it for what it is, just a part of the abuse cycle used to guilt women into keeping quiet. Just my 2 cents. Again, thank you for addressing these topics and responding in a supportive and encouraging way. Thank you, Caroline.
Yeah, I think it's just hard because it's so big. It's so heavy. You're like, whoa, he touched me inappropriately. And I think it's normal to struggle with, okay, what do I do? Who do I tell? But hopefully after you think about it a little while, you come to the conclusion that that emailer did. That, look, it's not me.
It's not you.
I didn't do anything wrong. And me telling other people is going to help future victims. And that's what you want to do. You want to stop his bad behavior so nobody else has to be in that uncomfortable position you were in.
Especially when it's that kind of bad behavior. I mean, we're talking the worst.
You trusted this guy. He's a doctor. Who knows how many boobies he's got to crack at every day?
On a different level, the fact that he is in that power position, it's just god-awful. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, don't feel bad for it. Don't ever feel bad for bringing someone down who really needs to be fucking brought down. Right?
Right.
If you're a legit evil fuckface, you should be brought down.
You should.
Yeah.
But sometimes, too, you're afraid because what if this doctor tries to come back at her or do something to hurt her? If he sees her as the reason why his career is going away, he could snap and then come for her. So it's a valid fear to have in your heart. But just think, you're protecting other women and you're stopping him. That's the most important part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Somebody needed a little bit of advice here. They say, I've got a family member who earns his money in an illegal way.
Cocaine.
He gave me $30,000 about a year ago.
I will look the other way. Whatever you're doing, it's forgivable.
He gave you, you said 30 grand?
He gave me this money and he asked me to just hold on to it. He is trying to change his life and become legit. He has a child now. Recently, he asked me to invest the money or to open a legit business with it. What would you do? If you decide to invest the money or open a business, what do you do with it? Or would you just give it back to him? I would not do anything with it because I think the second you start doing anything with dirty money, that becomes laundering and you're a part of that and you're committing a crime that I believe is a felony that you could go to prison for.
But what happens if, okay, let's say Kevin was a big cocaine guy, but I didn't know about it. And he goes, Bird, take this $30,000, just, open up a business with it. I'm like, oh, fuck, Kevin's awesome. That's really nice of him. And then I find out after the fact.
After you open that Sizzler.
That you were, exactly. After my third Sizzler's fucking booming in Orlando, I find out it's all drug money. Do I get in trouble for that? I didn't know.
Well, the thing that I find scary about that is it's along the same lines as receiving or buying stolen property. And I had a friend in high school. I was all worried because I used to go with her dad. We'd go to all these, little flea markets and things like that and sell stuff. And then a month later, the freaking feds come crashing into their house.
Oh, shit.
And
Kevin's quaking in his boots.
I was shitting my pants because I was going with him every weekend to fence what was stolen goods.
Oh, damn.
And I think he's still in prison. And this was from when I was in high school. This is 30 years. So
but you're a teenager at that point. They cannot come for you. You didn't know.
But did you or did you not have a mullet at the time?
Did have a mullet.
Guilty, Your Honor.
Yeah. So
Lock him up.
As far as I know, because this person, they don't talk about their dad anymore. So
He's
I don't
still
know.
in
He still might be,
jail?
because you know what? When they started digging deeper, it was an elaborate crime ring that went all the way into Canada. And what was happening, there was armed robberies with it.
It was
where they
more than
were-
what it was.
It was it
deeper.
wasn't just a dude who had some stolen goods, but I'm part of the ring.
Yeah.
So I'm out there. Hey, would you like to? Would
You're
you
one of
like
his-
some?
You're his henchman.
Yes.
See, I think if you can claim innocence truthfully, they can't come for you.
I agree. If you don't know, and they
But
can
I was
prove that.
shitting my pants for months because I'm like,
Oh, you didn't know as a kid?
Well,
Yeah.
I was right at, I was probably, 16, 17. Maybe I was 17. So I was right close to that age of, okay, if I did get charged here, which prison am I going to? Am I going where I can be the oldest dude there, or I'm going to be the youngest dude?
Oh, if you're the youngest dude, that ain't good.
wanna-
No,
you
if
wanna be
I'm
the oldest.
17-year-old fresh meat rolling in there
Oh, they
with
would've-
my
they-
innocence.
They would have loved you, mullet.
Oh my
Oh, yeah.
gosh.
A little tug on that mullet.
Everybody would have got to beat your drum.
Oh, man.
Oh, an 18-year-old Ralston in prison? Look out.
Tasty.
Cell
Good
block
Lord.
E wants a piece of that.
Good Lord. Yeah. So I don't know the laws on that. If somebody does, I just remember that standing out to me, that there were cases I've heard of where people unwittingly bought stolen property and still faced charges and went to jail. Like, holy shit, dude. So I think they do put some, it's on you a little bit when you buy. You need to know who you're buying from, what you're buying. You need to have the right records. So if you do it kind of under the table sketchy, then they may throw you right in there with the other person who was selling the stolen
This
stuff.
reminds me, I don't know if you remember, is a movie back when we were kids with Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise called Hot Stuff. Do you remember that?
No.
They were always bringing stuff into a pawn shop,
Okay.
or they owned it, and it was all about stolen goods like that.
Yeah.
Really shitty movie.
Okay.
Don't know why I brought it up.
Okay.
No one's seen it.
No. Mm-mm. No,
Even
what you're
Tom
talking about.
DeLuise's family was like, nah.
I think Burt forgot he did it.
Yeah, I would run away from this opportunity. And, even RJ saying, yeah, what happens if you open a business with his 30 grand and it fails? If this is a guy that was making his money in a legal way,
Do you have a Sopranos situation here where I need to collect the money?
it's just bad. I mean, that's how these movies start. And I love these movies because I've always been that, the unsuspecting guy that, I'm all trusting. Yeah, I'll take your 30 grand and open up. And I don't realize that's how I would get into the criminal world. And those movies do so well. They always make that movie with that plot line of the person that unwittingly is now in the dark underworld. I mean, you look at Breaking Bad. That's really what it was a guy who was a regular dude who kind of gets into it, and he slowly, every episode is him going more and more into the evil world that he can't get out of. And that's your first step. You are, in a sense, doing your own movie or TV show where your first step is you take the $30,000 is illegal money and you start doing something with it. Episode 2 now, drug people show up and they're looking for that money and you're running being, oh my gosh, I'm not used to this stuff.
Episode 3, there's a female around now. She's new. There's some sexual chemistry here.
Yeah,
She
right.
could tell she's kind of got a little shady, but you're horny.
Rachel Lee said Ozark. This is Ozark. Yeah, that's exactly it. Jason Bateman in this show is a upstanding guy who gets sucked into, wait a minute, where's this money from? And oh my gosh, and now all of a sudden his whole world is cartel.
I mean, Victor asked a very silly question. He says, Kevin, did you know drug dealers in Logan? Drug dealers? He knew murderers.
Oh yeah, drug dealers is nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, I asked my dad the other day. In fact, he's got a couple stories that he's sending me from the Logan Daily that he said are kind of silly and preposterous. I don't even know what's going on. I think it has a Bigfoot angle.
Oh, my God.
I think they're trying to hype up more Bigfoot sightings. But basically, everybody in Logan, they're just all on meth and murdering each other. And,
oh, my.
And I asked Dad, I'm like, yeah, so one of my listeners told me about this story about these two guys who had been doing meth, and the one guy killed his buddy, and then he sawed them all up into pieces and was trying to throw them in the fire. My dad's
This
like,
is recent?
yeah. So my dad's like, oh, yeah, those guys. I'm like, what?
Those guys?
Like, this is just another day in the hills.
Meth dismembering? No, that's kind of a big deal.
I'm like, what the hell are you people doing there? Yeah, it's just another day in the hills.
Maybe your dad's gotten jaded.
I don't know. I'm like,
The hills broke him?
but these stories that happen and people are bringing this up. Did you know about this? I'm like, you never heard about this. I asked my parents, like, oh, yeah, that. I'm like, what do you mean, oh, yeah, that?
There's a lot of these fucked up stories about Logan that
We dismember.
You gotta dig deep, but they're out there. They're not.
The story when I was a kid was a story where they dismembered those teens and they buried their bodies in the shape of a pentagram, the devil's star.
What's horrifying about that?
Yes.
I mean, that's big. They went over the top big for that one.
Yeah.
Cheeseburg needs to make a movie about that.
The Logan. Ooh, maybe next year.
The Logan story.
I don't hate that idea.
It's
I'm
got
playing
that
Don
air.
Connolly.
Yeah, like I said, you roll into Logan, you go into the hills. There's like kind of almost a mist in the air, a fog. It's just already creepy and mysterious.
I love it.
And anyone they kill, they have to dismember for some reason.
Well, didn't you live? Was your neighborhood okay? If you were driving to school, would you be driving through wooded areas? Was it very wooded?
Oh yeah, woods everywhere. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
there could be bodies there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, and there likely is. Yeah.
Oh, you know, if they combed the Logan woods, they're gonna find at least 3 bodies, at least.
Nightmares in the woods.
It looks like it. Because I mean, they're peaceful hills. Some people might see peaceful,
It's
but
Mother Nature's fault.
But they have a creepy air to them. There's just something eerie about the essence of Logan and all around it. You're right. Engineer Key said the hills are alive with the sound of murder, and it really is. They're killing motherfuckers all around
They
there.
do.
Your hills are making people dismember.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. If you live out there and you're shady and you have places to throw a body, it's perfect.
Well,
for you.
the thing is I think it blends in with because they kill a lot of animals around there, so they're always dismembering deer and other. So if you have a body and you dismember, people don't shudder at the sight of blood and bones and meat and things like that. So that's just a normal.
They do in my house.
No, not in Logan, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, you walk around, you're like, oh yeah, there's a leg, there's a
Boy's a
this.
pussy
and-
over here. Though.
Yeah.
In Louisiana, it's kind of like that too. There's lots of hunting,
Yeah.
lots of dismembering of animals.
Not a lot of time for pussy behavior.
They hang like an animal by a foot from a tree and leak all the blood
And
out
drink
of
it.
it.
Oh,
That
man,
happens
he's
in
good.
people's front
Yeah,
yards in my neighborhood.
in your
yeah.
yard.
It's good. It's good blood. Drink
There'll
some.
be an animal
Yeah.
hanging from the tree. You're like, what the F?
Yeah, so
I
there's
knew
mass amounts of blood and bone everywhere.
Yeah, country folk are different. I mean, my freshman year in college, it was a country town, and
Yeah.
it is the everything they do is just a little bit different. And I'm not hating on
Yeah,
it.
if you're a
It's
pussy
just
like me,
different.
it's tough.
Well, they
You
hit
shudder.
Coming back from a baseball game, my coach hit a fucking deer with the bus. He makes everybody get out. 9 o'clock at night. We're looking in the woods for this deer he hit because his quote, "This is good eats." I go, well, what happens if we find the deer? Oh, we're gonna bring it on the bus, Penny. Don't fucking cook it.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Luckily, the deer got away.
It did. I
nothing,
think
yeah.
that even the deers are tough as fuck out there. Took on a bus and then scampered off.
You gotta be wired different. You just gotta be wired different.
He licked his boo boo and kept running.
Oh yeah, I probably wasn't the first bus that deer got hit by either.
Yeah, probably third one that day. Yeah, so it's just a different thing. So, yeah, so. Yeah, some stories are coming with Bigfoot.
Tough in the chat room was mental note: never step a foot in Ohio.
Most of Ohio's normal. Like I said, my area is different. You get to Columbus.
The city is fine.
Yeah, Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, those parts, those cities, they're not like where I'm from.
But
you get down into southeastern Ohio, it's just a different.
Is Cleveland depressing? Because I hear a lot of shit thrown at Cleveland. It's a depressing big city. Is it?
It's older. I was there a couple years ago. I didn't go to Cleveland that often because it was everybody thinks Cleveland when they think Ohio, and it's different. It was 4 hours from me. I thought it was nice. I went there. We went to a football game. I had a good time. They had some good restaurants. They got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that is there. So if it's a sunny day, but the weather's kind of depressing. And the lake used to be a little depressing. So the winters are kind of tough there. It is kind of sad and depressing. So, but I mean, hey, it's great for Halloween. That kind of stuff is great up there. That is the one thing that I miss this time of year around Logan, especially because the leaves change colors and the wind starts kind of picking up, and you got those wind chimes, which are creepy as fuck. I hear wind chimes, they freak me out.
Well,
Some people think they're peaceful.
If there's a wind chime, if you all of a sudden hear wind chimes, you are seconds away from being stabbed.
I
We all
always
know
think that. I think I'm about to die when I hear wind chimes, and people are like, "Oh, it's so lovely." I'm like,
But
no.
you're right, though. Back in the day, when I was little, I swear to you, in Palm Beach County and in South Florida, the weather was different. We would have Halloweens where it would be windy out, kind of cool,
yeah.
creepy, and it does. That really helps set the scene for October and Halloween. You're talking about you're sweating your ass off during Halloween. That's not Halloween.
I hated it.
And they love Halloween there. You know, I said the school where I went, Ohio University, has a huge Halloween celebration, which was so amazing. 100,000 people, streets just lined with people partying their asses off, and it was so much fun. So Halloween's a big deal down in the hills. So they love it. A couple of Halloween questions here. Alex said, will we see a return of pumpkin darts? Just watched from 2019, and it gave me a good laugh. That is a tough game. Oh, my God. That's where we put a pumpkin on our head, and you try to throw darts into the pumpkin, but you usually miss and stick them into the person who's playing.
Well, you spin the person around that's holding the dart, and their other friend is standing about 10 feet away with a pumpkin on their head. They can't see what's going at them because there's no holes cut into the pumpkin head.
Right.
Even if it doesn't hurt, and it does if it hits the skin, just the idea of being blindfolded, not being able to see, and you don't know when a dart is coming, it's very nerve-wracking.
It is very nerve-wracking. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we're kind of right now tiptoeing on with Jason's tooth. I'm not sure, you know.
Oh, I'll be fine. No, I'm not going to turn into a fucking pussy.
My thing is that us using the whole negligence and having to then dip into the insurance, I think we got away maybe with the tooth without getting a lot of shit, but I think if we do something else, they're going to be like, you fuckers need to calm down.
Well, they only care if we get them involved, and we got them involved only because the tooth is expensive, but no, we don't have to get these involved. We don't have to get them involved for this. We could do pumpkin darts. I don't think anything would be bad.
Okay.
Remember that time I threw the dart and it stuck in Kevin's chest?
Oh my gosh!
We had a great
Yes,
moment out of that.
stuck right in my chest. It was right in. I'm like,
Oh, he had to pull it out.
HR didn't need to be called. All was well. You know what I mean?
Kevin was fine.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I didn't. By the following Halloween, I never even knew it was there.
The scar healed.
Well, no.
It's just mild now.
Yeah.
It didn't puncture his heart.
You're right.
Man, I don't want to be annoying, but I definitely think we should bring back pumpkin darts. That'd be so fun, Kev. It'd be fun. I'll fucking do it. Even if Virginia knocks out an eye, I won't complain. I won't call Randy.
Well, the good thing about the pumpkin, we hollow out a pumpkin and put it on your head. You can't hurt the tooth.
Yeah, I'm
the
not
tooth
worried.
will be protected.
I'm not worried. If I get hurt again, I won't go to HR. I won't say anything to anybody. I promise. I won't. I don't want to fuck this up.
The tooth surprised us.
It just surprised
We
us.
did not see that one coming.
I think I kind of got away with that. It was just like, I think they're like, okay, yeah, who anticipated that happening? Somebody gets maimed with a dart. That might be the one where they're like, Kevin, what the fuck?
But we just can't be bitches and complain. That's it. As long as we don't complain, it's fine.
Shake off your pierced heart.
Shake it off, baby. KVJ, motherfucker. We're real motherfuckers.
Yeah. It's when it happens on the air. They're like, oh, there's like blood spurting out of his aorta.
Baby, it's theater.
They're like, yeah.
We're doing it. We're fucking killing ourselves to do this fucking vaudeville act we're doing. Let us just do our act. I'm down. I would love to die on this show.
I think if you put the pumpkin head on and then you look down, you can't hit the neck.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
And that's important.
We'll be fine. Ooh, I really think we'll be fine.
I don't want pumpkin darts to die, but I also don't want you to die, so I'm really torn.
Oh, yo, I ain't gonna die. This motherfucker, 4 days in that popcorn box, still alive.
Almost died.
I did it though.
This from Tracy said, I was watching older KVJ shows. I came across the Waxing Chicken from 2012 with Kevin and Bird. Y'all sound like you're being tortured, and I've got 2 questions. One, did you have your taints waxed? Yeah, I think we did in that. And how did Jaybird's peen get attached to his balls with wax? I don't know if you remember that. That was a while ago.
Now there's
I
been
think
so
it
much
got
fucked up shit.
stuck. I think your balls stuck to your leg or your peen.
I think my balls and I can't remember when this happened, but it does
2012.
Oh my gosh, sounds familiar of the
Yeah.
balls getting stuck to the penis.
We've done a lot of waxing even since then, so.
There was one wax that was worse than the rest.
I remember y'all waxed Panda's taint.
We waxed my brother. We put Ben Gay on my brother's balls. That's right. Yeah, and he's a big dude, so he was moving around.
Did you put it on by hand?
I think, how did we do that? That was, I think, 2012, 2011. I forget when. That was a while ago. But I remember we had Big Tuna in, and we were putting hot or icy hot on his balls. And then stand up, oh, shit!
I'd like to hear him break it down, how it all unfolded years later.
I'll ask him. I forgot. We've done some.
I forgot too. Like, how did that play out?
Every now and then, some old video will come up on my feed from my old YouTube account. And go, when the shit did we do that fucked up stuff?
Oh, I know, right? And there is, you look at me like, what are we doing?
I'm proud of it all, Kev.
Let me see here. Somebody put in a special request for Lana on Halloween. Nicole says, Lana has brought so many genuinely solid laughs to my life, and her appearance on the ATS. I constantly go back and binge every Halloween.
Oh,
Wow.
Virginia uses this term a lot. That hooker keeps hitting me up. She loves October, and she is in town.
Okay, so Lana might be back for Halloween.
She's in South Florida right now. I don't know if she's going to make it back. There's a lot going on right now.
She's definitely going with these slutty Halloween costumes.
Yeah.
All year.
Oh, my gosh. Does she? And they are stained.
They're not even a costume.
Oh, my gosh. She's looking at it, folks.
At Costco, Target,
Well, that's-
wherever she goes.
Well, that's what I mean. She's looking to get fucked everywhere, always. She's always ready to go. She's a controversial character, Kev.
And wouldn't you know, we were talking about the DoorDash trap that is going on where they will put your beverage about 6 inches away from your door, so you're booby trapped. As soon as you open the door, you're going to knock your drink over.
It's really not cool.
Somebody said this moron DoorDash driver sees a big black bench on the right and a small table next to it. But sure, leave my food on the floor in front of the door, or even the instructions that say put the food on the bench. Picture courtesy of the DoorDash letting me know that he delivered. So that's from DoorDash. They're like, hey, here's your food. It's like, oh my gosh.
Well, their
I'm trying
door
to see where
opens
they-
from within, too. My door opens without. So there's.
I can't tell, yeah.
If you
apparently
push
it
that
is an
door
issue,
open, it's going to
yeah.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently it is an issue.
My door opens on the outside. Fucking knocking drinks over left and right.
That door opens on the outside.
No, you push that door in.
Do you push that door in, Kevin, or you pull it out?
I don't know. I'm dumb. And I have a boy. Just shut up.
Yeah, it looks like it would open out.
Do I not understand doors?
Yeah,
Here's the fucked up thing about
You see the
doors.
hinges on the outside, so that would mean the hinges, so the door would open out.
So here's the fucked up thing about doors, and you'll learn this now that you're a homeowner. They swing in and out, or they can be a handle on the right or the left. So you'll go to buy a new door, and you'll be like, yeah, I want a new door. And they'll be like, okay, open in or out. And you're like,
I don't like
right or left?
I don't like how doors are making me feel awful right now.
I went through this because you think you know what kind of door you need, and then you look so stupid in Home Depot or the hardware store, wherever you are. If you don't have a full grasp of door mechanics, it can make you look dumb.
Oh, you can't spell door without door.
Yeah, houses built after Hurricane Andrew have to open outward in Florida.
Interesting. Look at these door facts.
Can I get an easy fucking door, please? Just something where I open it and it closes.
Your door is fucked.
No, my dad fixed my door.
He did?
My dad did. The Juicy Daddy's handy AF.
Did you put that lock on it I gave you?
We haven't got to that point, but
Oh, expensive.
I know. I didn't ask for it, and I definitely didn't ask for the guilt trip that I get every time you ask me about
If
it.
you're not going to use it, give it back to me. I'll go return it.
Oh, fuck. It's gonna go on.
Fucking
Okay.
$100 doorknob.
Dog, I'm gonna put the door on there. God, how does Panda do it, Kevin?
Put the door on there?
How the fuck does Panda do it? That poor son of a bitch.
Panda put my door on.
Well, it's Panda's having sex with you. I don't have that obligation.
All right, thank you for all the emails. We got 1 day left. See you back here for your Friday KVJ show.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.